please, Jeff K.
Pleasure to be here tonight. Pleasure to see you all. I'm not going to tell a personal story today. Last time I told a personal story and got really into my heart, my emotional experience, and it was really powerful. Today I'm going to talk about chiropractic philosophy. Is that all right with everyone? Yeah! Now this might make a lot of sense and actually blow your mind, or I might just be severely subluxated, because I've been trying to really get to the bottom of the secrets of the universe, and I think I got it. So let's see if I can articulate it, or if I just like explode. I'm going to start off with a passage out of The Bigness of the Fellow Within. John McCarthy looked me straight in the eye and told me, page 43, 107, read it. I did it, and now I'm reading it to you. I can hardly conceive of any chiropractic school being of any service to its students or those graduates to their patients without a workable knowledge of innate intelligence behind that sees all, knows all, and does all. To ignore innate matters of the medical approach of the materialities of the vertebral subluxation, punching backbones, stimulating and pitting nerves. Without something more fundamental, there is no reason or logic for the existence of such a chiropractic school, as it adds nothing to the sum total of the materia medica, chiropractical, in principle or practice. What this is basically saying is that you need to have awareness of innate intelligence. What is innate intelligence? Well, innate intelligence, according to Stevenson, is what the mind does when it is at work. It's energy in our body, pretty much. I want to talk about a definition of the mind that I heard from Deepak Chopra that has really been blowing my mind. The mind is an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information. The mind is an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information. So let's just start with the first part of this. It's an embodied and relational process. If innate is a process and the mind is a process, then as chiropractors, it would be a good idea to be engaging in a process with our patients and having a relationship, right? It's easy to take a look at an x-ray. It's easy to see what it is and make an adjustment. But how about tuning into the system? How about that connection? I want to see that that connection is occurring, because if you can tune into their system, then you can connect to their innate. And it's not just about punching the backbone, it's about shifting energy in the system. Right? Let's move on to the second part. It's an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information. In my perception, energy relates to innate intelligence, and information, which I just figured out, is related to universal intelligence. And understanding how that works on a scientific level is very different than understanding how innate intelligence works on a scientific level, because there's actually a mechanism behind innate intelligence, but not really universal intelligence, because it's outside space and time. But we'll get into that. So, energy moves in waves, electromagnetic waves. When we have love for someone else, we send out electromagnetic waves. When we have awareness and consciousness, we're sending electromagnetic waves. And I can actually produce a shift in your system just by connecting to you, right? Or you. It's just consciousness. We change things by observing them. And that's a shift in innate intelligence and energy, consciousness and awareness. And it moves in waves, and those waves have a correlate in our body. Acoustic waves move through our body. The cell membranes all dance and move, right? And according to Bruce Lipton, we actually have the ability to epigenetically express our DNA by reacting to environmental signals, which make their way through the plasma membrane, move proteins on the DNA, cause different parts of it to be expressed, and actually evolve who we are, rather than where things are occurring by chance and we're succumbing to the fate of our DNA. So we can actually evolve through connecting and resonating by epigenetically expressing more of what's really at the core of our being, a double helix of information and a divine web dance and all that good stuff. That's enough. I didn't want to get too far into it, okay? I didn't want to get too far into it. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm going to start going into information. The mind is an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy, innate intelligence, and information. Information exists out of time and space. It refers to universal intelligence. One of the best descriptions of universal intelligence that I've heard is that it relates to a hologram. In a hologram, there's a small piece of the hologram that, every little piece of the hologram, you can see the picture of the whole, right? So when you connect to information from universal intelligence, you connect to universal information. It exists everywhere in space and time, right? That's really powerful because our body can regulate information. And I just figured out earlier today that that's the mechanism behind miracles. Because if something outside of space and time can make its way into space and time, then that can actually materialize and shift something in reality that we can't explain within the confines of physical science, because we can't measure it, because we don't have the gadgetry, because we're in space and time. It's outside space and time. It makes sense. I'm done.